Fans, at this time, we would like to welcome you to tonight's citizenship ceremony, an annual event at Principal Park for 15 years. The Iowa Cubs, in partnership with the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services and the United States District Court for the Southern District of Iowa, will welcome 32 candidates from 6 continents and 21 countries as new U.S. citizens during this special naturalization ceremony. There have been a total of 450 new citizens naturalized on game day at Principal Park since the first on-field citizenship event was held in 2009. In addition, more than 2,000 candidates have become citizens in various other non-game day ceremonies at Principal Park over the past 3 years. At this time, please direct your attention to the area in front of the third base dugout. Clerk of Court Penny Luthens will now call the court into session for Judge Stephen Locher of the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Iowa, who will oversee the ceremony.
All rise. The United States District Court for the Southern District of Iowa is now in session. The Honorable Stephen H. Locher presiding for ceremonial purposes of naturalization.
Hello and welcome to this very special event. We appreciate the Iowa Cubs hosting an event like this. It's such a neat opportunity. You may be seated during this ceremony. You don't have to stand the whole time. I'm so proud and so honored to be sharing the field with these 32 soon-to-be United States citizens. I'm going to start today by asking Maya Nichols, the field office director from the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, to come forward and present our candidates for citizenship.
Thank you, Your Honor. May it please the court, the following candidates for United States citizenship have been examined by an officer of the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, Department of Homeland Security, and have been found eligible for citizenship upon taking the required oath of allegiance.
For the roll call, Maria Isabel Montes Orellano from Mexico. Erin Colleen White from Canada. Rajeshwar Percy from India. Leticia Caldes Monteiro Linhares from Brazil. Bajay Anak Bishwa from Nepal. Dion Dwayne Trowers from Canada. Xavier Escandel from Spain. Sania Herek Kajanska from Ukraine. Mark Payne from United Kingdom. Rio Ray from Bhutan. Florence Blasade Poor from Liberia. Phyllis A.F. Tanang from Cameroon. Sophia Michelle Lee Evans from Australia. Zainab Koko from Sudan. Ma Nang O from Thailand. Joan Ndala Mvuvi from Kenya. Entasser Hassan Gobara from Egypt. Miriam Awad Salib from Egypt. Patricia Pa from Thailand. Daniel Correa Lima Linhares from Brazil. Rachel Cientemo Kakara from Congo, Kinshasa. Jacqueline Bolis Hakim from Egypt. Ashraf Bolis Hakim from Egypt. Samin Ishmam Khan from Canada. Nanang Hapare from Burma. Semhar Hali Malaki from Eritrea. Yosef Hale Malaki from Eritrea. Salvatore Kagoma from Burundi. David Van Bick from Burma. Bolang Lu from China. Alicia Niko from Ukraine. And Halima Nasser-al-Din Sherf from Sudan.
Pursuant to an examination on their application for naturalization, the candidates have demonstrated an understanding of the English language, a knowledge and understanding of the history and principles of the United States, have the required residence, and are of good moral character. The United States government now moves that these candidates be admitted to citizenship upon taking the required oath of allegiance, and that the requested name changes be granted.
It is my honor to grant the motion and request for citizenship. And at this time, I'd like to invite Deputy Clerk Penny Luthens to the microphone to lead our 32 newest citizens in the oath of allegiance.
Please raise your right hand. You hereby declare on oath that you absolutely and entirely renounce and abjure all allegiance and fidelity to any foreign prince, potentate, state, or sovereignty of whom you are, which have heretofore been a subject or citizen. That you will support and defend the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That you will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That you will bear arms on behalf of the United States when required by the law. That you will perform non-combatant service in the armed forces of the United States when required by the law. That you will perform work of national importance under civilian direction when required by the law. And that you take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, so help you God. Please answer, I will.
It's official. You're now United States citizens. And we are so proud and so lucky to have you as fellow citizens. And what a perfect day, what a perfect event for this ceremony to happen. An event like this is a good chance for all of us, not just the 32 up here, to ask ourselves, what does it mean to be a United States citizen? What has changed over the last 5 minutes for these 32 people along the third baseline? I admit I don't have a perfect answer to those questions, but I'll give you my opinion. In my opinion, citizenship above all else is about two things. It's about rights and it's about responsibilities. Our Constitution gives us a lot of rights. We have the right to practice any religion that we want. We have the right to follow any set of political beliefs that we want. We have the right to vote, to bear arms, to due process of law, to freedom of speech. We have the right to live our lives pretty much how we want. But it's important to remember that we can't take those rights for granted. There are also responsibilities that come with citizenship. Our country cannot succeed unless we as citizens support each other and support the principles that the country is based on. And to the 32 of you up here, I want to let you know that although you may be our newest citizens, you will have just as much of an opportunity as all the rest of us to contribute to our country, to help our country succeed, and that's where responsibility comes into play. You have the responsibility to do your part to help our country advance. But I want you to know, if you look at the history of our country, immigrants have played an important role in all sorts of positive developments. Immigrants have done many, many great things. To illustrate that point, I want to tell you 3 stories about naturalized United States citizens who have done remarkable things. I'll start with the story of a man who immigrated to the United States with his parents when he was 6 years old in the late 1970s. They came from the Soviet Union. This young man was very smart, very interested in computers. He ended up studying computer science in college and graduate school. In the 1990s, he came up with an idea, along with a classmate, to help people find information on the internet. He ended up starting a company that became wildly successful. I bet you've heard of it. It's called Google. And that naturalized citizen, his name is Sergey Brin. He's a great example of somebody who took advantage of the rights and opportunities that came with being a United States citizen, rights that he would not have had in the Soviet Union. But he also understood the responsibilities. Sergey Brin donates tens of millions of dollars a year to charities that are focused on things like education and the treatment and prevention of genetic diseases. He understands that citizenship is about both rights and responsibilities. My second story is about a young woman who was born in Canada in the late 1980s. Her parents had immigrated to Canada from Nigeria just a few years earlier. They moved again when she was little, this time to the United States, to Florida. And this young woman grew up to be a tremendous athlete, a tremendous volleyball player. She was an all-state volleyball player in high school. She was a Division I All-American in college. But that wasn't enough for her. She wanted the honor and the responsibility of representing the United States in the Olympics. And she did it. Her name is Faluk Akinradue. And in 2021 at the Tokyo Olympics, she led the United States to its first ever gold medal in women's indoor volleyball. So again, an example of an immigrant, a naturalized citizen, leading the way for our country. And that brings me to my third story. It's about a man who immigrated here from Brazil about 30 years ago when he was a teenager. His name is Ronaldo Freitas, and he didn't invent Google, and he's not an Olympic athlete. In fact, in most ways, he's just an ordinary person with an ordinary job. But one day, a few years ago, as Ronaldo was driving his son to school one morning, they saw about 200 yards in front of them a terrible car accident. 5 cars all traveling at fast speeds collided. As Ronaldo drove closer, he could see that the back end of one of those cars was on fire. But the driver of that burning car wasn't doing anything to try to get out, so he knew she was hurt. It was a very dangerous scene. There was exposed gasoline, open flames. The safest thing for Ronaldo to do would have been to stay right where he was. But that's not what he did. He knew somebody needed help, and he felt the responsibility to act. So he jumped out of his car, he ran ahead to the burning car. He looked in the window, he could see the driver was unconscious. He forced the door open, he reached in, unbuckled her seatbelt, grabbed her, pulled her out of the car, pulled her to safety. Just a few seconds after he did that, the entire car burst into flames, including the driver's seat right where she was sitting. If Ronaldo Freitas had not been there that day, that woman would have died. If he had not come to the United States 30 years ago and immigrated here, that woman would have died. The point of his story is that you don't have to be a billionaire or an Olympic athlete to make an important and remarkable contribution for our country. Doing something as simple as being there for your neighbor when your neighbor needs it can be enough. So I'll close with a challenge to our 32 newest citizens, but also to all the rest of us. Enjoy the rights and opportunities that come with being United States citizens. But don't forget about the responsibilities. Look for ways to help your neighbors. Look for ways to help your communities. If you do that, you will help ensure the continued success and prosperity of our country. Thank you.
Fans, please direct your attention to the video board for a special welcome message from President Joe Biden.
Welcome, my fellow Americans. First and foremost, I want to thank you for choosing us and believing that America is worthy of your aspirations. Every immigrant comes from America from different circumstances and for different reasons. But you all have one thing in common: courage. The courage it takes to sacrifice and make this journey. The courage to leave your homes, your lives, your loved ones, and come to a nation that is more than just a place, but rather an idea. An idea that where everyone is created equal and deserves to be treated equally. The idea that we have as a nation, and we can define America in one word: possibilities. Possibilities since its founding. That very idea has been nurtured, enriched, and advanced by the contributions, sacrifices, and dreams of immigrants like you and immigrants like my own ancestors from Ireland, and like generations of our fellow Americans. And today, you've earned a new title equal to that of an American president, the title I'm most proud of: citizen of the United States of America. I look forward to standing with you as you embrace your new rights and responsibilities, as you build your lives and legacies here, as generations have done before you in this great nation of immigrants. So welcome, my friends. Welcome, my fellow Americans. Welcome. May God bless you all, and may God bless the United States of America.
All rise. Court is now in recess.
Tonight's ceremonial first pitch will be thrown by one of our newest American citizens. Please welcome Ma Nang Oo. Thank you, Ma Nang Oo, and congratulations. Fans, at this time, please stand and remove your caps as we honor America and our newest United States citizens with the singing of our national anthem by Susan Voss.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there.
Fans, thank you for your attention during tonight's citizenship ceremony. Now sit back and enjoy the game.